Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse, and today we're going to do some CSS. So our last stream, which I think was Thursday or Friday of last week, we started doing some CSS work, so we're just going to continue on with that. Since the other work that I've been doing lately is kind of boring and not really stream worthy, so I'm saving some of the work that might be a little bit more interesting and easier for beginners to follow along with. So over the weekend I had a conference, Pittsburgh Tech Fest, and I gave a talk there about basically a lot of the stuff we've been doing over the last few months, so using React and GraphQL to get data from WordPress. So if you're interested in that talk, check it out. It's on my channel. A link to my channel is in the description, and it should be the last video that I did. It should be right there on the home page. I can't see the live chat right now. I'm trying to get that set up, and then we'll start. Also, if you do follow me on Twitter, you may have seen this message earlier. If you don't follow me on Twitter and you'd like to, link to my Twitter is in the description as well. But I have an idea for a project that I think will be pretty cool, and I'll keep you all filled in on how it's going, but for now I'm just looking for advice. So what I'd like to do is use some machine learning to predict whether or not a customer will convert, whether they'll take the desired action based on some information they provide in an online form. So I'd like to do it in JavaScript. I was thinking about using brain.js. I saw some videos on it. It seemed pretty easy to work with, but I've also gotten some suggestions to use TensorFlow.js. So if anybody has any other suggestions or advice or any good resources for me, let me know in the live chat or in the comments or wherever you like. But I think that could be a pretty valuable tool for businesses. I know a lot of the bigger companies already have things like this. They either pay for an outside service to do it, or they do it in-house. But I'm thinking this could be targeted more towards like smaller businesses, trying to make it somewhat user-friendly, and the big problem is for small businesses is just getting the amount of data needed to really make a good prediction with it. But I do have some data that I'm thinking of working with that I think will be enough to get started. So at least for testing, for us, I'll already have the data that I need. Okay. Oh, I forgot my Spotify. I forgot my music. The microphone finally started working on my Mac. At least I think it is. It seems like y'all can hear me. So now I can listen to Spotify on my phone, which definitely helps. Do most other people listen to music while you code? Let me know in the chat. I just always assume that that's like a normal thing that people do, but I've gotten so used to it now that it's just like constant. And let's see. Okay. Alright, so I'm just taking a glance here at the chat, and then we're going to get started with this. Matthew asked about how about that new freeCodeCamp content. Yeah, I've just looked at a little bit of it. I haven't had a chance to try any of it yet. I'm thinking about doing a series where I work my way through the new content, maybe even do it live. And that would probably be on my own channel. But if anybody would be interested in something like that, let me know, and then I'll think more seriously about doing it. Oh wow, Michael said my last stream was Thursday. Wow, so it's been a while. Sorry about that. Um, I don't remember why I didn't stream on Friday, to be honest, but yesterday I had a doctor's appointment that was an hour away in the morning, and the doctor's appointment took longer than I thought because I had to get blood taken. And then I got back to work, uh, stopped at the store to get something to eat for lunch. I got to my office, ate lunch in my office, and then had two meetings back to back, and then a third smaller meeting that was I was not expecting. Um, and then I had to watch the kids because my wife took my son to karate. So it was a very busy day. If I would have been able to fit a stream in, it would have been really short. Um, so as it was, I ended up I needed to get paperwork done that was due by the end of the day yesterday. So anyway, I don't like to have that long of a span between streams, but it happened. Oh, that's it. Michael, thanks. That's what I remember. So I did do a stream on Friday. I just forgot about it, but I did it on my channel. So that was when we got ready for the talk that I did. Thank you. Just I don't know what's up with me. The weekend was rough. It was so busy. I needed like another weekend to recover from my weekend. All right, so let's get this started. Seems like I've been talking too much at the beginning here. Okay, I'm gonna switch scenes. All right, I'll make this a bit bigger for everyone. I think that's probably good on size. Let me know if it's not. Not sure I could go much bigger than this and still kind of see what's going on. For the last hour or so, I've been working on these routes. So I've been going into WordPress, cleaning up data, making sure the slugs are correct, and actually just deleting a lot of posts that were either not needed or I could combine with other posts. So the data came over very like fragmented in lots of different posts. So been able to combine a lot and then also add routes. So I've been running into this issue where there'll be two and sometimes completely different URLs for the same content. So I have modern languages and mod lang lit both go to the same content. And not only that, but then on top of that, so if you go like franciscan.edu/modern languages/ classes, it takes you to the same place as if you did mod lang lit / classes. So like this whole tree of pages has double URLs, and I'm not sure which one is even the right one. I believe that depending on what link you click on the current site, it would take you to one or the other, and it doesn't redirect. So it's a bit of a mess, but I'm glad I found that so that I can add this in, trying to avoid broken links as much as possible. Alright, so that's what I've been working on. So the last few commits you'll see in the repo are basically just that. So not really that much to catch up on in terms of work on the GitHub repo. Let me think. Yeah. Oh, you can find the link to the GitHub repo in the description. Also, if anybody's been worried about Microsoft and GitHub or excited about it or anything, let me know in the chat. That might be cool to talk about. I know there's not a lot of details available yet, but I'm kind of interested to see what you all think. I don't have any plans to move my repos yet. At least for Franciscan University's repos. I know we use a lot of Microsoft stuff like Office 365, so I don't really see an issue with leaving those repos on there. In terms of my personal repos, I'm not really worried about it until there's some reason to be worried about it, But I would like to hear what you all think. Alright, so I just started a Pomodoro timer. Oh, Nikki has a good point. It says, does Microsoft buying GitHub mean the Atom editor is doomed? Use Visual Studio Code anyway, but still. That's a great point. I did not even consider that yet. But yeah, because let's say like, I had thought about Electron because GitHub, built and maintains Electron, but Microsoft uses Electron for several products, and actually, Microsoft hosts an Electron conference, I believe, or at least they sponsor it, and they contribute to the project. So I thought, oh, okay, well that's actually not a bad deal. But I didn't think about Atom, whereas Visual Studio Code is direct competitor to Atom. I would hate to see Atom go away. I don't use it much anymore either, but it's good to have options, All right. So this is the last page I was working on. This is probably a good page for us to check out. So if you're just joining us, you didn't catch the last stream where we did CSS. Basically what we're going to do is just go through the site and find things that look like they need a little work. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but if it looks broken, we are definitely fixing it. So I'll just scroll through this page quickly. Right off the bat, I see some inconsistencies in spacing. I really don't like this long list, but right now, I don't want to deal with that right now. Yeah. Alright, there's nothing on the page that absolutely looks broken, but you know what, I do remember something I noticed earlier. So when we go to one of these, and we go to click, let's say, on undergraduate, we get a weird color. I don't know if you caught that on the screen, but it's almost like a pinkish color. So I want to change that, and I want to try to see if we could see it. I'm going to zoom in and click to see if you all can see it as well. If you want to check out the website, you can go to dev.franciscan.university. I'll put it in the live chat in just a second. Okay, do you see that? That actually looks orange on that screen. Depending on what screen... Whoa, where did this take me? I think I accidentally clicked on something. Alright, so let me do... Alright, so if you go to the link that I just put in the live chat, you can browse through the site as well. So I believe that we changed this at one point, and I don't know if it reverted back or because we added some of these extra drop downs, if that had anything to do with it. But oh, looks like that page does not work. Good to know. I have a list of all the pages that don't work, so I'm not worried about taking note of that right now. Ali a fanboy says Ajax with a heart. Yeah, this my Ajax YOLO shirt. It's you only load once. Yeah. So this is actually an Eventbrite shirt. So I got this at the first Syntax Con from Ben Alegbadu, who works at Eventbrite, does a lot of conference talks. If you don't follow Ben on Twitter, you should. He's a nice guy. He's got a lot of good info. I think his Twitter handle is BenNVP. All right, so let's go into code and let's check out our theme and see if we can just fix it here. Let's see. So I doubt it's a problem with our theme because it looks like the style works. Like if you could see that on other click events, we do have proper colors. So yeah, maybe we'll have to go right into the component. Actually, you know where we should go? Let's go to the documentation. That might save us a lot of searching. There we go. Let's look at. I don't remember what that's called. Oh, Niki says I know how to fix that. Give me a sec to look it up. Okay. Cool. All right, I'll give Niki a second to let us know about that. Ali also asked, where are you from? Right now I'm streaming from Ohio, from Steubenville, Ohio, which is right on the eastern border, so right next to where Pennsylvania and West Virginia meet. So I'm pretty close to Pittsburgh. Originally, I am from West Virginia, and those are all, of course, in the United States. Okay. Let's see what this is. Button. Hey, I had a few people coming in saying hello. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. All right, so the drawer. All right, so the side list. We need to check the list components then. Because I believe what we've done is just we've nested lists. Oh, if we just nested lists, we may be able to just see this easily. Okay. So let's check our drawer item.js. Okay, so this is our hover color. Okay, Niki's saying find the CSS for that link and apply color inherits to it. Okay. Let's see where. Back up and go to drawer. Let's see what we've done here. Interesting. Alright, let's go back in here. Sub item icon container. That's odd. I don't actually see anything that would make the top links change. Michael asks, which page are you working on? I couldn't see when you started. Okay. This, I'm not really on any page. I'm just looking at this side navigation. Alright, Shaniki says, see the external link CSS class there? Okay. Was it on the back on this other one? Oh, there we go. External link color inherit. That's the same thing. Okay. Alright, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Niki. Okay, I see. Because we manually put in those external links down here, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Okay, so we put that class right on the A tag. Alright, that's super helpful. Alright, so let's check our A tags here and see what classes. So we do have a class as sublink on our A tags. And I believe those are the only A tags we have. Just double checking. Okay. So on our sublink, let's try to put that in there. And let's save that, and then we'll try it out. Okay. Great. And then let's try a sublink. Awesome. Let's make sure, just try a couple more. Yeah, awesome. Great job, Niki. That's really cool. That was a very easy fix. Very easy fix. So, wonderful. At one time, we actually had a issue open for that. So let's check the issue and see if it's still open. We can close it. And I'm gonna check on my timer. All right. So in about 11 minutes, I'm gonna come back to the chat and answer a few questions for a little while. So let's see. Here we are. Issues. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I have 3 pull requests. If you submitted a pull request recently, sorry that I haven't checked them and pulled it in, merged them yet. I'll try to get that done after the stream. All right, so The regex. Oh, actually, I got a pull request about this, so I'm excited to review that. Faculty titles not displaying. Ooh. You know what? I figured out how to fix that bug because I was having the same bug on my presentation slides. So I stayed up really late on Friday and figured it out. So this might be a good one to fix soon before I forget how I did it. All right, cool. So we don't have an issue for that anymore. Like I said, I think I think it may even have been Nikki actually fixed that at first, but then I broke it again once I added in that other stuff and didn't carry over the styles. So we can go ahead and commit this change. So we are using Git as our version control for this project, so we can check Git status here in our terminal that's integrated right in here with Visual Studio Code. And we can see that we have made a change to that drawItem.js, and we can do a git add, right, to get that file ready. And then we're going to do yarn cm because we have a little custom script set up to help us make well-formatted commit messages. So it's a shoot. Oh well. I guess it's not really a new feature. It's a color change, so I don't know if you want to say that's a feature or not. So change on click color of your sub items. All right. Yeah, I guess feature is an okay thing to do. I mean, it wasn't exactly a bug or anything. Oh, Michael said, I've almost figured out the first issue, but I'm not quite there yet. My regex foo is terrible. Yeah, I thought let's check that out for just a second here. That pull request, because I thought one of these was about that. All right, let's check the file. Let's see what's going on. All right, so we now have. Oh, okay, cool. So we have this regular expression here, and then we're replacing all that with this. Interesting. That's really interesting. I mean, this regular expression is definitely beyond what I've ever done. Um, so that's really awesome. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to test that out. It looks like there's a little way to test it here. I know this is a little off topic of this today's stream, um, but since we were talking about it, I figured why not just test it out. And we had to wait a second for this to go through anyway. All right, so that worked. It passed all the tests, and so let's push that up to GitHub. All right, cool. So it did match that. Okay, interesting. So, here's what I guess I'm assuming is happening. Um, this here, this $3 must. I guess that's putting in the third capture group. So with 1, 2, 3, the third capture group is what grabs the URL for this link. So by using this, we're actually able to insert like a variable, whatever's captured in there. And remember, that was the issue that this was the issue that caused me to give up on using a regular expression, because I had no idea how to do it, but I did know how to do it in JavaScript. So, but this is definitely the better solution. So we'll probably go with that. I'm not going to merge this now. It's off topic for what we're doing right now, but then also any like stuff I do on the command line goes really slow when I'm trying to stream. So uh, let's go back to our CSS. So we've accomplished that, and I'm gonna refresh because for some reason it's not closing the drawer when I click. Okay, Michael Creel says, I thought we were only trying to replace the text. Yes. Yeah, that's what we were trying to do. But I guess in a sense that's exactly what's happening again, but it's the end result is the same. Okay, so the end result is that all the markup stays the same except the inner text. But the process to go about that is a little bit different with that regular expression. Um, so, like I said, I don't know that I would have come up with that, but I like it. Which, I mean, I'm assuming that it all works. It seems like it will, so I'll have to test it, and then if everything does work, I will merge that pull request later on. All right, so we already checked this page. Let's go through. I want to try to find some pages that we haven't really seen before. Nikki said added the title prop too, or is that already there? Accessibility for the win. I don't remember if that was there or not, but it should be there if it wasn't. Alright, let me check. I think we already checked some of these pages, so I'm not going to do this top two. Alright, we have nothing there right now. We'll have to build that out. Employment and HR. Okay. That's good. Yeah, I think we I think we looked at this stuff already. Faculty openings. I don't think this page works. No, it doesn't. Alright. Consumer information. Alright, not bad. Yeah, this page didn't turn out too bad at all. Let's see if any of these pages work. So I'm just going to open a bunch in some new windows, assuming that they're interior pages. Alright. Nope, that does not work. Whoa. Alright. Well, it's not the worst thing ever, but the way these are, like, this I guess is centered, and this one is. I wonder if these are just set to be like right on the end of this line, of both these lines. No, we may be able to work on these, but my timer just went off, so let's take a 5-minute break and do some question and answer. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the top, see if there's any questions. If you have any questions that you'd like for me to answer, please put them in the chat now. Nikki says, writing a blog post about using keyboard shortcuts to get things in code done faster. What are your favorites? Ah, interesting. If anybody has any favorite keyboard shortcuts to get things done, let Nikki know in the chat. I'm trying to think what. It's kind of hard to think about, because you get used to them. It's kind of a thing like you just do it and you don't. At some point, you just stop thinking about it as some trick, I don't know. Probably the thing I use the most that saves me time is multiple cursors. So on a Mac with Visual Studio Code, it's Command D. Now I have the Atom keyboard shortcuts enabled since I was used to using Atom. So I don't know what it is on Visual Studio Code by default, but Command D to do the multiple cursor thing is really helpful. And I don't know. I mean, aside from that, all the normal ones, right? Control F for finding things. I probably use that. That might be what I use the most. Also, of course, copy and paste. But everybody knows those ones. Yeah, if I think any other ones, I'll let you know. Oh, wow. Nikki does not listen to music while coding. Interesting. Michael says, I heard that GitLab had a spike in activity in the last 2 days. Not sure if it was real. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even before the announcement was like official, you had people talking about going to GitLab. I mean, I don't know. It reminds me a little bit. It's definitely not the same situation, but it reminds me a little bit of when everybody said they were going to leave Facebook, a month or two ago, and like I didn't leave Facebook, and obviously like a lot of people just didn't leave Facebook. But in terms of like, I don't know, in terms of the people on Twitter that I follow and on Instagram, there was some like strong reactions to it, like I just deleted it, I think this is going to end up being a similar thing. Like there are going to be some really vocal people who are like, I'm definitely moving, but you're going to see like the vast majority of people probably end up staying with GitHub. If not for any other reason than just it takes a lot more effort to move than to stand still, right? Like there has to be a really good reason for people to move, and I don't think they're. I mean, Microsoft hasn't done anything yet. No decisions have been made. So we just don't know what's going to happen. If something drastic changes with GitHub, yeah, then more people might move. But if it stays largely the same, just the fact that Microsoft owns it, I don't think is going to be enough for anybody to move. Especially with, I mean, how many developers use Visual Studio Code now, right? there are open source Microsoft tools that are widely accepted by developers. Why couldn't GitHub be that too, right? Um, I don't know. So I think it could be awesome. It could be like, hey, GitHub's the same except better because now there are more resources behind it, and that would be great. Or, it could end up being bad. It just depends on what's decided upon. So it seems like, at least for now, at least till the end of the year, things aren't going to change that much. So I think they're going to take it kind of slow in the transition. At least that's what I read. So that's my opinion on it, which, what do I know? So just take that for what it is. Tomiwa says, I think they should just keep both running on separate teams. I think that's where we were talking about Visual Studio Code and Atom. I think that's a good idea, at least at first. Keep them both running on separate teams, and just kind of see where it goes from there. They're very similar applications. They both run on Electron. They both do the same thing. So I guess long term, if it ends up being that the best of one just gets absorbed into the other, that would make sense. I don't know if it would be a good thing, but it would make sense if it happens. All right, so my 5-minute timer is up. I'm going to reset my Pomodoro timer. After this 25-minute session is over, I'm going to come back to the chat and answer whatever questions are still remaining. All right, so for this page, I actually really hate to work on this page because it's a standalone page. Styles I do for this aren't going to carry over into anything else. So it's like we don't get that much for the amount of work that we're going to put into this. So I think we're not going to do it. This is a page that we have to have for our accreditation or membership in these organizations. So we have to display this somewhere, but nobody looks at this except for possibly the people that police organizations to make sure that they're displaying these things. I'm not I'm not really a fan of these things. They actually cost a lot of money just to be able to display this, and so I don't know. I've argued in the past that prospective students, high school students, don't care at all about these things, and so it's a waste to have them. But that's not what people think. So what other people think at my organization. So we're still going to continue to pay a lot of money for these and display them for the time being. But my advice to just hide them somewhere was taken, mainly because those little things that show up in there, they load so many scripts. Those aren't just images. So many scripts get loaded. It was slowing down. We had them on the main page, and it was slowing it down significantly, and it's already slow. So at least my idea to take them off the front page was accepted. All right, so this work area asset. Actually, this is really interesting. I'm just looking at the URL paths to these. As you know, we set up a Google Cloud Storage bucket to store all kind of the images and the PDFs that are on the current site. And I don't believe that I got that file because I didn't think there was anything live on the site that was using this file. This folder was supposed to be for the admin panel of the old CMS. So evidently some files got in there. That's a really weird path. You know what? I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but I don't think that's an actual path. All right. I'm not gonna worry about that right now, but that could be kind of a big issue. If all the PDFs, if we're not given the real path and instead we're given the path to a .aspx file that then pulls in that data given an ID, um, that's going to be a problem. Same thing here. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. Well, at least I mean these pages, in terms of how they look, are acceptable. Yeah, but the URLs are for these PDFs are not. The only thing I see that's really weird here is the spacing, and I'm not sure why. Let's just check the code out for a second. And why are there breaks between all of these? That's insane. Okay. Um, Alright, so it looks like whenever this came over... Wow. Sorry, this is too small for you all to see. Let me make this bigger so you can see what I'm looking at and just how insane this is. This is how the content came over when we pulled the content over from the main site, with all these breaks in between. That's just... Alright, so evidently, yeah, we have. So we have already had these breaks set to display none, which is good. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this like this for now, because once again, this is one of those one-off pages that nobody really looks at anyway, but we just have to have. Same way with this page, you know, it's all just legal stuff. Wow, that's really small. I mean, I guess it's... Oh, goodness. Yeah, these are PDFs also. I'm assuming they're PDFs. I can't even tell, really. But they don't have real URLs either. Okay. Page is alright. And... Alright. So all those pages were okay. I'm glad I looked at them, though, because now I realize the issues that we have with those URLs. Alright, so let's check out the next set. I really thought there would be more issues with styling, to be honest. I think we've gotten pretty lucky with some of these pages. Information. Let's check out this directions and attractions, accommodations. There we go. That's an external link. And so is that. Oops. Oh, cool. Actually, that's not bad, even, you know, the way the image is set up. Now, I definitely want to check this out, though, on a smaller screen. Really, it's what I should be looking at first. Okay. That's not bad. I was worried that it would be aligned to the right instead of left, but this, I think, may be taking advantage of some of those styles that we created last week. I'm going to double check. Yep. yeah, those are our styles from before, which is great. So these styles are being applied elsewhere, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Alright, cool. And okay, this is not too bad. I'm not a fan of all this italics, but like I said, we're looking for things that absolutely look broken. Oops. Alright, let's try this page. Wow. Okay. We are going to work on this page because this page is going to be important to the president of the university and some of the people that are higher up, because they're really focusing on these things they call the charisms of the university. So we're going to work on this page, even though it's basically one of those one-off pages that doesn't really get very much traffic. But in this case, the traffic that these pages do get is important. Alright, so we can see we have H5s and H6s. That H1 looks okay. The H2s, the size is okay. But we'll see. We may have to adjust the H1 and H2 depending on how big we go with our H5s and 6s. So let's work with this H5 first, and let's go with a font size of, let's try 18 just to start. Ooh, actually I think 18 looks okay. And then font weight of 300 is going to be thin. Let's try 4, see what it looks like. 4. Yeah, I think 4 is more acceptable. Yeah, 4 makes a lot of sense right there. Okay. Alright, let's figure out what style sheet we should use. So what's this being used for? Department. So for some reason the department style sheet is being applied here. I get that the page is being applied here. That's weird. Alright, let's check this out. So we have about, visions, and charism. Let's go to our drawer menu.js, and this should tell us what we're using to render this page. You want another one of those? Yeah. Where'd you get that one? This is Gemma's. Yeah, I have another one. Come here, you want to be on YouTube? Go the other way. My oldest son is here. He's asking me for some of the stuff, the conference swag that I got. You know what? I think I have it down here. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you a little bit. Here. Say hi. You're right there down in the corner there. This is Raphael. That's my oldest. You want to say anything to people on YouTube?
I don't know.
You don't know? You want to hang out for a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Raphael, here's what we're trying to do. You see how on this page, watch that cup and stuff in it. Here. Let's put it over here. Do you see how these are really small?
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to change that so they're not really small. Okay, so right now, we figured out some code to use to change it, but we just need to figure out the right place to put it. So we're going to look here, and what was the title of that page? It's Vision Charisms. So actually we can just do a control find vision and charisms page type about pages and about pages. Alright, let me check our server. Let's see. I know where I need to check. About I should have a route that is just for about, and then we can see what component is automatically being rendered. Alright, let me just scroll up because I think it's at the top. Faculty contact search. Maybe I don't have it. Let's see. Check the bottom here. Alright, let's yeah, it should be rendering to page. Alright, well let's just look at page. I mean, it's possible that I've loaded that CSS in page. I did. So for some reason in the page.js component, I'm loading the department CSS style sheet as well. I don't remember why I'm doing that, so I'm going to leave it there for now, but maybe I'll go back and look at the git history for this component and see when I did that, and maybe then I'll remember why it's there. If it's a mistake, I'll take it out. But for now, let's put these styles in the page.css. So we need to find our static folder. Let's close up some of these. There we are, static styles, and then let's find that page.css. What do you think, Raphael? What do you think about this work?
That's a lot.
It's a lot?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff?
Yeah, did you do all of that?
Yeah. The people in the stream help too. Alright, so I'm just going to put it down here at the bottom, and we're going to say H5. And I really hope that I copied those styles. No, I didn't. Okay, I think it's easy to remember though. I believe we went with a font size. Oops, font size of 18 pixels and a font weight of 400. Okay. Alright, so let's save that and do a refresh, see if it works. Yay, it worked. Okay, cool. Now let's look at these H6s. These are really tiny, but let's see what we can do. So font size, I'm gonna go start at 18 pixels and see how that looks. Actually, that's not too bad, but only because it has that bold, font weight. Let's see if we drop it down to like 400, if it's still gonna look like. Actually, that's not bad. Let me bump it up. I'm trying to avoid making them so big that I have to adjust these larger headings. But if we can go to 20, actually, I like that. And then I want to see where all this padding is. Okay, wow, that's a lot of padding. We definitely, or I'm sorry, margin. We don't need that much margin. So I'm going to leave the margin top for now. And let's just go with margin bottom. Whoops. Margin bottom. Let's try 8 pixels. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, that's so much better. We're gonna go with 8. I think I could go even further because it looks like I think there's some margin there on those P's. Yeah. So let's go down further. Can we go down there that low? 1. Okay. We probably can just go to 0 then. Margin bottom 0. Yeah, I'm going to go margin bottom 0 since we have such a large margin that seems to be by default here. Yeah. Oh, just in the user agent. So, yeah, I'm going to set a margin bottom 0 on those. I'm a little bit afraid that these styles are going to mess things up on other pages, though. So we're going to have to make sure as we click around that we check. But, you know, they definitely needed to be bigger. No matter what page they're on, that font size was just unacceptable. So I think this will be... I think this will be okay. That looks a lot better. Okay, so let's move these over here. Let's throw in our H6 and then put the styles in. Oops, and I need to clean up. I need to get a plugin or something that auto formats my CSS. That would be nice. Alright, so that's in there. Let's do a refresh just to make sure. Yep. Great. Okay. Jeff Miller says, doesn't Prettier do CSS? Yeah, actually we are using Prettier. Probably just need to set that up then. Nikki says, shouldn't H6 be smaller than H5? You are correct. You are entirely correct. And normally I would say, yeah, we're going to do that for sure. But in this case, the markup that we're given doesn't make sense. So, like, this is not really a heading. This is... I don't even know. Like, maybe I would make this a block quote or something if I was going to do it. Yeah, so this should not be an H5. It's not a heading. These are headings for each one of these little sections. So, or actually, better yet, if they're going to list charisms, should be like a dictionary style list. I forget what the HTML tags are. So anyway, there are better ways that would make more sense to set up this HTML. So I entirely agree that the H6 should normally be smaller than an H5. But we're just doing what we have to do to make this look okay with the markup we're given. And then we're going to go back, like, over the course of the next year. I or someone else I can hire is going to go in here and make sense of all this markup, and we won't have silly things like that happening, eventually. Yeah, and actually, since this is kind of like a one-off page, we maybe could have gone in and actually adjusted this, but I don't want to get into a habit of doing that because then the site will never launch. Okay, I'm going to check my timer. Oh, we only have about a minute left, so I'm just going to commit this change, and then I'll answer some questions, and then we'll wrap up the stream. Let's do a get status. There we go. That's what we want to see. Just that CSS file is changed, and we'll do a get add yarn cm, and let's add. I guess we can do a fix for this. That was obviously. I guess a UI bug, right? It's a design bug. I don't know. So let's say fix heading sizes and weights. Okay, so that's going to do its thing, and I can start answering questions now. And as soon as that's done, I'll push it up to the repo, and then that way everything will be available to you all. John Hanson says you need a Visual Studio Code extension for color highlight. Yeah, you know what? I had that on Atom, and it was pretty awesome. That would be cool to have one on Visual Studio Code. But I'm kind of like, I'm trying to not have extensions that I don't need running, because it does tend to slow things down. And since I already have issues with trying to stream on this laptop, I probably won't do it here. I have no problems adding in more stuff on my my iMac at work, though, because it can handle it. Coding and Caffeine says, hi, developers and coffee drinkers. Yeah, I have my iced espresso here. So I'm with you today. Rahul says, when will this project be over? I really hope we get this thing launched before July. Based on my initial plans, it would have been launched already. Some things happened. I was surprised by the quality and amount of data, to be honest with you. And then I also had expected to be able to hire on some student workers, and that just didn't happen. So it got extended out. I mean, if it ultimately helps, make this a better, better project, a more smooth launch, I guess it's okay. But I don't know. I start to get nervous when a project drags on. I just want it to launch. I get what happens is, like, the longer you wait to develop a project, it just makes me nervous because it'll start to become outdated before it even launches, right? You don't want it to get so old that you have to at some point go back and completely redo the project. But you don't want to launch something outdated, so it's almost like you'd have to at some point. Also, the project goes on and on. People keep coming up with new ideas for things to do. I don't like that. I'd rather launch it, and then any changes are going to be based on user feedback and analytics data, and not just on, well, what if we did this or that. Alright, so I'm pushing that up to GitHub. That will be ready in just a second. Coding and Caffeine says, love material, by the way. Thank you. Nikki says, "Oh, that PR for prettier ESLint you can postpone. I was just trying that out on a different project than the one I used as a sample for a blog post." Oh, okay. All right, thanks. John Hansen says, "Don't know if it would be a small change to give hover to your anchor tags a darker color." Oh, you know what? We were talking about that last week, weren't we? Yeah, I don't think it would be too difficult of a thing to change. So that might be something that we do at some point. I think it would be good though. Worlds asks, "How do you get React into production mode?" Yeah, so it depends on what you use to build it with. So we use Next. So if we check out the package JSON, it'll tell. Basically, we just run this command and it does all the transpiling and minifying, concatenating everything. So we just type in build, right? I think if you use create React app, it's also build. So of course it'd be yarn build or npm run build or something like that. If you set it up from scratch, then I guess you'd make the build command whatever you wanted it to be. Michael Creo said, "I had to do something, and then I see Jesse's mini-me on the stream." Yeah. Yeah, he's off of school now. So what, this is your first week off of school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you been doing now that you don't have school?
Mm.
We're not coding right now anyway. There we go. You been playing outside and stuff?
Yeah.
That's good. Gaurav, Gaurav. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. Please let me know how to pronounce it if I am. Anyway, it says, "Looks clean, isn't it?" So I guess you're saying the site looks clean. If so, thank you. That's definitely what I was going for, as a clean interface. Oh, John Hansen said Niki's blog is helpful. Niki, I'm gonna check that out for sure. I'm pretty sure you gave me the link to that before. If you didn't, give it to me, and if you did, is it cool if you give it to me again? I'm gonna check my Twitter DMs after this to see if you gave me the link already in Twitter, or I'll just check your Twitter profile. How about that? And you probably have it linked from there, so don't worry about it. Yeah, but I definitely want to check it out though. Jeff Miller says, "Jesse, I owe you a Docker compose file for local Minecraft server." Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, don't worry about it. I mean, I don't want you to take a bunch of time out of your schedule to do that. But if you get a chance, that would be really cool. You hear that? You remember I told you someone from the live stream was gonna help and give us a file so we could create a Minecraft server.
Maybe.
Maybe. So we'll create it and it'll run on like one of these computers. So like we'll just at home we'll be able to play it.
Cool.
Yeah, so it'll just be for us. So then you don't have to worry about anything like any bad guys on the internet or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool. We could build awesome things, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. Niki's blog is Niki. How to pronounce your last name? Let me spell it out anyway, because if you can see the stream now, obviously you could copy and paste that. If you're listening, you probably need me to spell it anyway. So it's NICKYMEULEMAN.netlify.com/blog. Yeah, so I'm going to copy and paste that into my browser right now so I don't forget. Okay. Michael says, since all the questions on your stream talks were about GraphQL, if you get good at explaining it, you'd have a niche you could dominate. Yeah, I guess so. I did get talks about GraphQL. I think I could have done better talk if I would have explained more about React and GraphQL and how they work at first, because it seemed like the people in the audience, some of them I had never even used React before, and a lot of them had never used GraphQL before. So the kind of the rest of the talk was a little hard to follow, because I had assumed in order to get through all of the material on time, I had to assume that the audience would have already set up certain things on their own. So I don't know, maybe I could have kind of front loaded the talk a little bit more with some explanation. So, I mean, really, that I actually have taken that same content, and I want to present it as like a 3 to 5 hour workshop, and really go through and actually build out a whole like demo project with everyone. So that I think would really be a better fit. But still, at least I think the audience members got ideas for what's possible. So they'll definitely have to learn more about React and GraphQL if they want to do it on their own. But perhaps now they see that something is possible and not that difficult to do, that maybe they didn't even realize was a thing before. And I think that's valuable. Oh, okay. Jeff says, for what it's worth, I used this Docker image and has linked up. Okay, cool. I'll have to look up that Docker image. So actually, I have Docker. I'm probably going to run this on one of my Windows machines. I think I have Docker running on one of them, or installed, but it's been quite a long time since I've developed anything. So I'll have to probably do some updates. But I could probably test it on this Mac, though. Alright, well, I've gotten to the end of the live chat, and I think this was a cool stream. Just, basic CSS stuff, but it's always fun. What's up? One more thing.
Good job on all the code, everybody.
Oh, yeah, he says, good job on all the code, everybody. So, thanks, buddy. Yeah, so I'm going to try to be back tomorrow, do another stream, and I don't know, we might be doing some more CSS. We'll see what happens. And until then, have a wonderful day.